Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior and welcome to another Mortal Kombat video. Now seeing as last week you guys enjoyed my Kung Lao and Liu Kang video, I wanted to expand on a theory that I made after the Mortal Kombat launch event, and that was regarding the existence of this iteration of Liu Kang and Kung Lao. Now I must say that this all in itself is a theory and should be taken with the smallest grain of salt. Now obviously from what you can tell of the title, I do have the slight suspicion that this Liu Kang and Kung Lao are in fact the same Liu Kang and Kung Lao you actually play in the Shaolin Monks universe. Now I understand from the outside this might seem kind of far-fetched and if anything somewhat insane, but please do hear me out here. With time travel being a huge key aspect of Mortal Kombat 11, it means that we will be dipping in and out of particular timelines and meddling with new and different ideas. By opening up different timelines and universes, you have a lot you can in fact work with here, and it's not like the Mortal Kombat games have ever been shy of creating spin-offs that aren't directly tied to the main canon of the series. So once again, with time travel actually being an integral part of the main story, I think we're going to see different versions of different characters, like Revenant Jade and Human Jade, and Crispy Skin Cabal and Normal Human Cabal. There are different iterations and takes on particular characters, and with Kronika bending time to her will, it feels like anything at this point could actually be possible. Now first off, let's actually draw the lines of similarities in terms of design. Liu Kang from Shaolin Monks actually looks very different to the Liu Kang we have here, but are many differences in terms of default design. But this may also be because of the gear system they've implemented into the game. However, there's no doubt in my mind that we are eventually going to get a costume of Liu Kang that does play homage to his older costumes. However, there are some similarities in terms of bottoms and headband, but Liu Kang has always had a somewhat very basic design. Kung Lao, on the other hand, is actually where things get rather interesting. His overall costume shares a lot of similarities to the different incarnations he's had in previous games, but one key factor that is definitely catching my attention is the hat that he is wearing. You see, in the later games, Kung Lao loses the chin strap and instead just stones the hat. However, here we see that he does retain it, and I know it might be me looking a little bit too much into this, but this headgear is something he wore during the earlier stages of the series, so I believe this does imply that this is a young Liu Kang and Kung Lao. Now with all of that being said, why have they been specifically picked by Kronika? Why not a random and different timeline version of Liu Kang and Kung Lao? With the only reasoning I have, this is the only timeline continuity that exists outside the main continuity that's strictly focused on Liu Kang and Kung Lao, and 2, the pair of them were able to successfully kill Shao Kahn along with the rest of his forces. Because for those of you who don't know too much about Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, it's a spin-off retelling of the second Mortal Kombat tournament, which is why it's so vastly different to that of the main continuity. So it does make them slightly different to what we've seen before, and possibly susceptible to Kronika's control, at least in her mind. Now despite Shaolin Monks' amazing success, and even being considered by Ed Boon as the greatest spin-off game that they ever had, the game was never given a proper sequel, that being Mortal Kombat Fire and Ice, which was sadly cancelled during its development. Now understandably because of this, many people in the community were asking for a Shaolin Monks 2, and despite it in fact being 13 years old, people were still asking for a sequel to that game. Now in all honesty, do I see a sequel happening? No, not really. NRS's focus right now seems to be on Injustice and Mortal Kombat, so I doubt we'll ever get a proper and true Shaolin Monks sequel. However, if those characters were to live on through another installment, then I believe MK11 would be the right way to go. Again, with time travel being a huge thing, you could literally incorporate those versions of the characters into the main timeline. It would be a great way of at least paying homage to the older games and acknowledging the fan reception and demand for a sequel. Hell, even right now, I know NRS have in fact been teasing at a new game mode. It may in fact be a tribute to Shaolin Monks, I'm not entirely sure, but we had the 25th anniversary of Mortal Kombat last year, and sadly nothing was done about it, and this is sadly because we were still in the active life cycle of Injustice 2, but even then, there wasn't much talk about Mortal Kombat 11, so I believe it would be a fantastic way of integrating those characters into the main continuity, even if it's for one installment. There's been many different occasions where Ed Boon has acknowledged the massive success and fan demand for Shaolin Monks 2, and NRS have always been extremely open when it comes to listening to their community. So I personally feel that in Mortal Kombat 11, they're going to incorporate some ideas about Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks into their new rebooted timeline and narrative, which honestly could help make the game feel extremely unique. And you have to think, what exactly could they do with the narrative to make it feel different and unique to the previous games that NRS have made? Because from Injustice Gods Among Us onwards, NRS have always wanted to keep their their viewers engaged by having them be involved in what's going on. For Injustice Gods Among Us, it was minigames, MKX, it was quick time events, and in Injustice 2, it was being given the freedom and opportunity to pick the fighter you wanted to approach a certain battle. So I personally believe that if they were to incorporate a Shaolin Monks Liu Kang and Kung Lao, we may get some very interesting minigame. Like I said, please do remember, this is all theoretical. I could 110% be talking out my ass right now. But with Shaolin Monks being in such high demand, as it's a beloved fan favorite, Ed Boon acknowledging the success, and seeing a young Liu Kang and Kung Lao, it's hard for me to not at least acknowledge the idea and possibility of this happening. Again, with time travel being a key aspect here. But yes, that more or less does wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and learned more by doing so. Now, what are your thoughts and feelings about this Liu Kang and Kung Lao possibly being the one from the Shaolin Monks universe? Would you be happy with that idea, or would you more so be interested in a Shaolin Monks sequel, which may focus on two entirely different characters? Comment down below, I'm actually interested what everyone has to say about this. Also, I do have some heads up I do need to give you guys. First one is the most noticeable one because it's at the very beginning of the video. Yes, I have in fact gone back to my old intro. The reason why I've actually done this is because my Jade reaction video from last week in fact got copyright claimed. Despite me actually purchasing a license to use this song, it's either expired or maybe the composer is just becoming greedy. So because of that, I'm going back to my old intro until I can sort out a new and snazzy one, because I've been long overdue for a new intro anyway. Second heads up, I'll be doing a video on Chronica on Thursday. I've actually discovered more details about her existence, so I will be making a video about that. And as for Saturday's history of video, I actually don't know who I want to talk about just yet. Let me know down in the comments below, as I'm torn between actually doing Jade or doing Raiden, so please let me know down below. But yeah, that more or less does wrap it up for this one, guys. Now before this video finishes, if possible, let's try getting it to about 500 likes. It's great worth supporting this channel since YouTube's ad system is broken as hell, so by giving it a thumbs up, it helps out a ton. And also don't forget to tick that bell, as YouTube has a lot of problems with my videos not appearing in your sub boxes, so by doing so it helps you out and most certainly helps me out. Now as always guys, please comment, like, subscribe and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care and I'll see you all next time.